So his question is, what should be your state of mind before you consider initiation? And the second was also quite similar to that. What should you consider before initiation? There's a region in Germany called Bavaria. In the 11th century, the monarch of that region was King Henry III. And one day, he grew very tired of the royal affairs and what have you, and decided that it was time for him to take it easy and spend time reflecting on God's glories. To that effect, he approached Prior Richard, who was the head of the monastery there, and said, I wish to take initiation from you to that, along those lines, and I wish to spend the rest of my life here as a contemplative, not necessarily as a monk, but somebody who's just going to commit to that monastery for the rest of his life. And the prior said, look, you do realize that the pledge you need to take here is the one of obedience. And that is a lifelong pledge. He said, I am absolutely willing to take that pledge, that I will remain fully obedient to you as you are to God. I will remain fully obedient. Whatever you say is the final word. No questions asked. Well then, he said, under that pledge, I'm now asking you to go back to your throne and rule the kingdom with compassion and empathy and a sense of righteousness. Because you've just taken the pledge. So I'm asking you that you go back and you do that. He went, he took on the affairs of the kingdom again and ruled for the rest of his life as a great king. And when he died, there was a statement that was released, and where it was written that King Henry III ruled by obedience. So obedience is in fact all that you need. Hence, I say repeatedly, and I can't say it enough number of times, if you don't feel obedient, don't get initiated. It's not that it's a prescription that until you got initiated, you won't have the divine vision, or you would not succeed on the path of sadhana. Some disciples take pride in saying, I'm the rebellious kind. Well, good luck then. I don't know who will or who can then help you. There was this family. They adopted a very poor boy. And that boy had tattered clothes on him. His shoes had holes in them. And he had barely, he was starving, basically totally malnutritioned and famished. So they took him in, brought him new clothes, gave him a nice bed, a nice room, and they really made him a part of the family. He, of course, was more than thrilled for this new experience to emerge. But one strange thing that happened. His shoes, the new father, he did not discard the shoes. He kept them at a mantelpiece, on a mantelpiece. right in the living room for everybody to see. And the boy was quite, embarrassed at times. Why would you keep this old pair of shoes there? And soon he found out why. Every time he did anything wrong, the father would call him, show him the shoes, and say, look, don't forget this is what you used to be, and look how much we have done for you and what kind of life we have given you. Now, there is this thing called being aggressive, and there is this thing called being passive aggressive. When somebody is aggressive, they'll say, I demand that you do this. You say, I can. Why won't you? They will not give up. They will be right in your face demanding what they need. Aggressive. Forget obedience. They are acting in the reverse manner with the next step, which is passive aggressive. They won't let go. They will keep asking for the same thing over and over again. So what happens in that case? They're acting like that father. The disciple is acting like that father, saying, but I've been doing this for these many months or years, and this hasn't happened, or that hasn't happened. And when that happens, you have not done yourself any favor as a disciple, and the guru is no better off. Hence, I think in my mind, all the questions you have, you need to reflect on them before you seek initiation. Somewhere it's like this. You will have a difference of opinion even if you marry the most perfect person. But you won't say, oh, I'm divorcing you just because there's a difference of opinion. If you were so fickle-minded, you should have done that thinking before you got married. When you had the chance to know the person as much as you could know that person. And just how nobody marries anybody to change them, although that is why people marry, assuming the other person will change. And that's a recipe for disaster. Similarly, you shouldn't get initiated thinking you will change your guru. And the guru shouldn't initiate the disciple thinking, I will change this disciple. Because nobody can change anybody. People change themselves only when they have a deep realization. And sometimes that realization can take a decade or a lifetime to come, sometimes not even that. So perhaps the question becomes, what is then Guru's role? Not much at all, I'd say. That's what I've always held. You don't need to wait for a guru to start your sadhana. There was a little girl, and she got late on her way home from school. And the mother immediately got irate, like a very distressed parent. She started shouting, lashing out at her. Why are you so late? Where were you? What were you doing? Why didn't you come straight home? Blah, blah, blah. She said, my friend Janie, she fell down and her bicycle broke down completely. So I was helping her. She said, but you don't know how to fix bicycles. How could you help her fix her bicycle? She said, no, I was just helping her cry. I just stopped to help her cry. She needed to cry. I think that's all perhaps a guru's role is. A guru is not a teacher. And guru's role is to simply lead based on what they have done, lead by example. A guru's role is to share his wisdom, his spiritual wealth, and every other kind of wealth with the disciples. A guru's role is to ensure that the relationship between a disciple and a guru remains free of transactions. Because if it becomes a give and take, how will the disciple ever match? Or if the guru is fake, then how will the guru ever match? There are plenty of takers in the garb of gurus too. But it's just somebody who is unconditionally wishing you well. I think that's the long answer to that question of yours. Obedience in my mind is that quality. Sthito asmi gat sandeha karishay vachanamta. That I am going to do whatever you're going to ask me to do. I, Krishna, have no doubt anymore, says Arjuna, that this is final.